Greetings, Temple of the Adversarial Forge. Palm here. I've been receiving a lot of questions lately, and that's cool. I really do appreciate that because your questions are basically a mirror to my knowledge. Okay, but the thing we have to understand is that knowledge is only going to get you so far. Theorizing in and of itself is not going to make you an effective magician or sorcerer. Um, so what I would ask is try not to ask hypothetical questions because I get that a lot. And what do I mean by that? I mean, do not ask me questions that you already know the answer to. In other words, when you tell me you're well read in a particular area, and then you ask me a question which pertains to that, I really don't know how to take it. It may seem, on one hand, almost like an insult to my intelligence. And on the other hand, it's as if um, I'm being vamped. It takes a lot of energy to effectively and efficiently answer a question. It takes thought. It is a process of giving a part of self. So I really don't want to waste my energy on answering hypothetical questions. It's a waste of your time. So why ask it? Why ask for an answer that you already have? It just isn't logical on your end. I hope that makes sense. Um, and it's no hard feelings. I understand that sometimes people get excited. A lot of people charge a lot of money and sell a lot of books doing what I do. And to find somebody that's willing to help just for the sake of helping, it's kind of easy to get excited. I know what that's like. I've manifested mentors like that throughout my whole life. But there comes a point in time where you have to watch and respect the boundaries. Okay, be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of what's going on. Because we all do have lives to live. You have to remember that I am also a man in the process of ascension. I am by no means the only source of information that is out there. So don't rely on me as such. Now, with that being said, there was an interesting question that seems real basic, but a brother in the forge asked about the scrying mirror, what it is, and how it works. So that's really what I'm going to go into within this video because I have certain techniques that I utilized and have developed, which may or may not exist elsewhere. I notice that quite often people are pointing out things that I do that someone else does, and I'm completely unaware of this author or this practicing magician. And that's good. That's good. But with that being said, the Black Mirror. All right. The Black Mirror is nothing magical in and of itself. In other words, don't expect to order a black mirror from Azure Green and think that somehow it's going to work like some sort of spiritual television. A black mirror can easily be made. I remember making them one year for everyone in my coven, and I got really creative with it. I took perfectly egg-shaped bowls and painted them with spray paint and added glitter dust layer by layer to add depth. And they seemed to be like a vortex. And I did this with picture framed glass as well to add depth to the mirror. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with black mirrors, but they're very simple. Just get a piece of glass and paint the back black. It's really that simple. Now, I myself integrate blood, sexual fluid, things of that nature into the paint, and it's consecrated from full moon to new moon. Um, there's many different ways of doing this. Consecrating the mirror as a gateway, however, is a very important part of the process. In my last video, I talked about putting magical intent and will behind everything you do. I use taking a bath as an example, with the intent of washing away human weakness. If you are putting this into practice and actually doing this, okay, what happens is the magic starts to bleed over into your everyday life. So when it comes down to consecrating a tool, or it comes down to stepping inside of the circle, it is your intent to turn this thing into a gateway between this world and the next. And by golly, that's what you will create. Okay? So don't worry about using someone else's consecration techniques. You have to kind of explore yourself. This is the artistic side of magic. I can give you a right, sure, but that takes away part of the empowerment process and part of the realization that you are a creator. Okay? Now, what most people don't realize, I notice that nowadays, people are equating this as synonymous with evocation, and that's not really the case with the black mirror. The black mirror is a tool of divination. I did post a link to the video I did on developing scrying and astral vision. I would suggest watching that in regard to developing astral sight. But as you begin to learn to unsee that which is before you, this is when other planes of existence, this is when information can start coming forth. So what I want you to do is look at the black mirror as not a physical mirror, because it's consecrated as something spiritual. This is really a mirror in which you can reflect upon the vast amount of information held within the subconscious mind. Okay, that's what this is. The energy in the room is changing. Okay, that's what this is. And it's very important to realize that. You need to treat it as such. This is something sacred, sure. But you have to remember, it is your own divine self that is bringing this information forward when this is being used as a tool for divination. Okay. Can this be utilized as a tool for evocation? Yes, it can. I do have a particular method I use when I do this. However, I am going to say that I do not do it often. I really do not do this often. As a matter of fact, evoking to physical appearance to me is really not a concern. Because when I activate a sigil, I have the communication I need. That's all I have to do as a sorcerer. Now, I love the process of ceremony and things of that nature. But I'm going to save that for initiations. I'm going to save that for rites of passage. I'm going to save that for landmarks in my life. When it comes to summoning a spirit, I activate the sigil and I speak. It's that simple. But watch the video I did on sigil magic. I show you how I utilize candle flame to train yourself to activate sigils. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to have this mirror hanging on your wall in front of you. Have an altar set up between you and the black mirror, and have the altar set up with elements which represent the spirit. Okay, I myself would put the sigil inside of a triangle of manifestation that I have painted on the altar. One of my altars I utilize to paint on because it has a chalkboard surface on it. A large pillar candle should be on the altar, and you simply activate the sigil through this candle flame. Okay, and when it starts to illuminate and it starts to flash and it starts to morph, what you want to do is hold the image of this symbol hard in your mind. Turn it towards the mirror, okay, and reflect the sigil on the surface of the black mirror and activate it here. Consider this a process of contraction and expansion. You are contracting the essence of the spirit in your subconscious mind and activating this sigil. And then you are expanding it outward through the astral mirror as a gate. Okay? Now, once the sigil starts flashing on the surface of the mirror, if your astral sight is developed, you are going to see astral energy begin to pour out of the mirror. You may see the spirit within the mirror, but normally, buddy, is coming out. And at this point, physical manifestation is irrelevant because you can sit down with your notebook and pen with the questions that you have prepared and the task that you have to assign the spirit, and you can communicate. Ask questions, and the thoughts that pop in here, you simply write them down. Now, you're going to try and off this as imagination at first. But what you need to learn how to do is do it anyway, and do it often, because the more you trust in yourself, the more clear this gateway between the subconscious mind and this reality becomes. And the better you will get at it, the more accurate the information will be. This alchemical path is about refining self and becoming something better, something greater. And when I say greater, I mean greater than the average human being whose life is limited to working 12 hours a day, going to the bar and going to bed. Okay? This is a spiritual workout program. You have to do these things repetitiously over and over and over to gain strength in these things. So with that in mind, take this information that I'm giving you in these videos, go back and watch them, and take notes and understand that this is really a living grimoire. It's just a compilation of information. That's all it is. One man's perspective. The recording of one man's knowledge gained through his spiritual experiences. But in the end, it's your experience that counts, not mine. Just like it's not this mirror that matters. You can get the same results going to the pond and gazing into the water. You can look at the swirls in the carpet on the floor and go into trance, you know? It's not about the mirror, it's about you. I believe in you. So believe in yourself. Infernal blessings.